All right. Now, this is solving one of those problems which I've always tried to, think through myself. Like, how would passing on your crypto assets to someone else if you die to like your family members or your child, whatever it is. And this project here at GenWealth may be a good solution for it in the Cardano ecosystem. I have Raphael joining me on this episode to talk through this project that he is initiating and also looking for funding for in Catalyst Fund 12. Raphael, welcome to the podcast, or should I say, welcome back.
Thank you, Peter. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, because I agree it's an important topic we need to solve as a blockchain, right?
Yes, indeed. Now, let's go through this a little bit. And can you explain what the problem is, especially for those people that haven't even thought about this yet?
Basically, as we all know, we are here in blockchain. We have our crypto assets. Hopefully, we are, or most of us, storing it in our own self-custody because it's the safest way to have your assets with no counterparty risk. They're under your control. It's like having money under your power or something like that. But then we need to think, what happens to these assets if something happens to us? What's going to happen? And the truth is, right now with self-custody, what usually happens is that those assets end up locked in a wallet forever if you don't have a plan. And if you do have a plan, the plans that you can have right now involve trusting a third party to do this process for you and make sure the assets go to your family or to whoever you want. Or you need to actually share your seed phrase, putting your crypto at risk while you're alive already. So that's why a lot of people just end up not saying anything and just hiding their seed phrase, and then the crypto is lost forever. And this is actually a huge problem, because if we take, for all blockchains, not just Cardano, if we take a look at Bitcoin, it's estimated by Chainalysis that around 20% of the supply of Bitcoin has been lost forever, either because people forgot their seed phrase or because they're gone. And this supply is just locked there. That's equivalent to like $200 billion at current prices, US dollars. So just imagine like the difference. Yeah, it could make for people overall.
Yeah.
So it's a really big problem. So that's why, have you heard about the Direct Alliance, Peter?
No, I have not.
It's an alliance of different blockchains. Currently, they have Hedera, Algorand, and XRP. Even Charles has mentioned them. And what they are trying to do is to solve this problem, create a way for people to recover their cryptocurrency so that it is sustainable, because you cannot have, nobody will feel, or the majority of people won't feel safe holding an asset that's at risk of being lost forever instead of being transmitted to the next person, or even you, if you lose your seed phrase, having no way to recover it. And we have a solution for that, fortunately. And that's what we're trying to share here today.
Yeah, this is one of those things that people don't plan for. Like, people don't want to think about that they're going to die and having to plan for these type of things. And, especially when you leave family members behind, your loved ones, and you make it really hard for them in regards to recovering any of these assets. Like, I do have a recovery process, and my family members do know how to go about it if anything does happen. But hopefully your solution just makes this a lot easier. Can you tell us how it might work and how someone might interact with the platform to be able to provide access to other family members in the future if anything was to happen?
Yeah, of course. It's very simple. It leverages the Cardano blockchain and smart contract. And very important, I think it's trustless and it's self-custodial. So at all points, you're the only one in control of your assets, like you are with the normal wallet. And during the entire process, you don't need to trust anyone. There's no intermediaries, as everything is executed by the blockchain according to your rules. So the process for using the app is extremely simple. You come to the website, you connect your wallet, and then you're able to create what we call a vault. Okay, so you create that vault. When you create the vault, you get an admin key and an admin token that goes directly into your wallet. And that gives you, is like a master key that gives you the full control over the vault while you're alive. You can do whatever you want with the assets. The vault works very similar to a wallet. So you can deposit your tokens, you can send them, you can stake, you can do basically the same things. We'll also be working to integrate the dApps directly into the vault so that you could even do all the interactions you want within our website in a single place with any dApp you'd like to use. So you can do all of that. But besides what you can already do with the wallet, you can also set rules for how you want your crypto to be recovered. So basically, you are able to subdivide your assets across sections that we call pockets, and then you're able to nominate an heir to claim those pockets, an heir for each pocket, for example. So you do that by providing them with also a key, an NFT key that will allow them to connect their wallet when the time comes, and using that key, and once you're gone, they'll actually be able to just connect in the wallet, claim their part, the part you've left for them. And right now, in terms of how do we check if you're alive or not, for the first version, we are using just proof of life. So you set a deadline that you're comfortable with, and you can regularly update it to make sure nobody is able to claim your assets before. They'll only be able to claim it once you are no longer able to update them. So once you're gone and you're not here to take care of your estate, right?
Okay, this overall sounds pretty cool. So, look, just to be clear, so I can still get my staking reward. So I can create the vaults. I can still stake to the various stake pools that I wish. So that's right.
Yeah, cool. That's right.
And I can also interact with dApps like MinSwap and harvest my liquidity rewards from the platform. I can do that too.
Indeed, right now, so I'll explain you. We have already developed the smart contracts for these. So everything I'm saying here, it's what we can already do. So you can already stake, you can already put your assets, you can already recover to the deadlines and everything that we have tested and we know it works. In terms of the apps, for this first immediate version, we won't have integrations right away. That comes next. So after we launch the app, we'll work on the integrations so that you can do those things. To be honest with you, it will be easier to do these integrations with platforms that have the I don't know the exact name, but it was something that Wi-Fi developed, the self-custodial liquidity, where you get the tokens for the liquidity and you can even trade them and everything like that. That would be much easier.
Yep.
But yeah, the purpose of the integrations is exactly to allow all of that.
Wow. Okay, that makes things extremely flexible. So, probably the only thing that we really need to worry about is the security of the smart contracts to make sure that they can't be compromised or anything like that. So, this would definitely be something that I'd love to see a really big audit for to ensure that all the smart contracts, infrastructure, everything else around it, off-chain code as well, is as secure as possible, so that nothing can happen in between the smart contracts and myself. Especially if I decide to put a lot of assets into there. So that's one thing. Do you have a audit planned? Are you at that stage yet?
Yeah, we want to do an audit for sure, especially before the mainnet launch. So our goal is to go to testnet, have people stress testing it, using it, also maybe requesting some features or some improvements. Yeah. And in the process, while we are doing that, to work on an audit before launching on mainnet, the security audit. We already got plenty of quotes for that. I'm not going to lie, it's expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's a priority for us. And hopefully with even the help, if we can get some help with funding right now as well, it puts us in a better position to pay for an audit in the future for sure. Or else if we cannot get funding right now, I think we have funds right now to develop until mainnet, but to do an audit in addition, that will be a bit harder right now. But I think if we show value, hopefully the community will like to audit these and have security, because it's not, I agree with you, it's not enough to be open source. You really have to have someone really trying to break it to make sure it's safe, right?
Yes, yes, and coming at it at all different angles to make sure that there's no vulnerabilities, or and also like future proofing the platform as well. Like Plus V3 is coming out very soon, and there may be things that you need to consider for that. So there's a whole lot of things to think about. The other thing that you mentioned a little bit earlier was the separation of the vaults into different channels so that different people can inherit different portions of it. So just like inheritance, you may give a portion to one person, portion to another person, and set it to different wallets. I love that feature. That's also something I didn't think about. I thought, just put all your assets in and then just hand it over to one particular person and they can divide it out based on a will or something. But that's a really cool feature, and having the NFT seems to make it a really easy process to claim. It does rely on the other person to also have some crypto knowledge, though. So they'll need some sort of education process, having their own wallets and be able to understand and use the platform there as well. I'm assuming you have some sort of education process, or maybe an easier onboarding process for a lot of these people.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, and it's a question people already made us, and even myself. I also have crypto. I want to make sure it's safe. I have a family that doesn't understand anything about Web3 or wallets or whatever, and yeah, they even have their own wallet, but most of the times they just ask me to do things instead of them doing anything. So yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
that's always
tricky.
the case.
Yeah. So yeah, that's sure. That's for sure. Like the process for claimers is super easy. You just have to have your wallet, and if you don't have if you don't want to have nothing to do with crypto, you should probably know how to sell the assets or what you can do. Our idea is to provide educational content for that, but we know that might not be enough. There are people, for example, I have parents. I might I would like to leave them something if something happens to me, and they are not even tech savvy. How about Web3 savvy? It's almost impossible to do that with them, to be honest with you. So that's the second proposal we're actually working on. We have two proposals for this funding round, and the second proposal is focused on creating a service that actually helps you transfer your crypto to Web 2 or non-tech savvy beneficiaries. And how it works right now is that we leverage this DApp. So this trustless DApp, you have control over your assets. Nobody can assess them before time. And you also don't have to share your seed phrase, which I think is important. You can keep it safe. You can even memorize it and burn it forever or something like that if you can. But yeah, basically the same process. Then you have the beneficiaries, the ones that are tech savvy, just claim it when the time comes and use the app, no intermediaries. The ones that are not, we would sign a representative like contract where we would hold their asset, like their NFT that allows to claim. And when the time comes, when you're gone, we would do the claiming process and we would sell those assets and transfer it directly to their bank account, the value of the assets. And in this case, because blockchain and what we're doing here, it's all about aligning incentives. We would also have like a liability clause in the sense that when you die, your crypto is valued at X, and we need to put that value into the bank account, or else we would be liable to pay twice that amount.
Okay, I like that method of delivery for the non-tech users. So I really really like that. So it's something that I hope people can get behind as well, and support you guys. So in terms of being able to deliver on all of this, a lot has changed since the last time I spoke to you guys about other projects. Who's behind the project at the moment? I'm assuming you have a smart contract developer with you as well. What's the team and timeline of everything looking like at the moment?
Okay. So right now we are honestly keeping a very lean team. We are bootstrapped. We are paying everything from our own pocket because we need this solution and we also believe in it and we believe other people need it and even other blockchains in the future, not only just Cardano. The team, it's myself. I'm taking care of the part of business and marketing. That's what I've been done for the last 5 years now 6 years recently, but more in the Web2 startup world, the SaaS software world, basically. But besides that, I've been in Cardano since 2020. I've participated in some Web3 projects. So yeah, it's a natural transition. And then I have with me our CTO is Ariadi. He's a developer. He has 14 years of experience, 2 years developing on Cardano as a full stack developer. He's from Indonesia and he's also teaching other people in Indonesia how to, just program on Cardano, develop on Cardano. And he has previously created a Deadman Switch smart contract on Cardano that was Morbid. It was featured in Awesome Aiken. And we just had this interest together, and it was like a perfect match in that sense because we were both worried about this problem, trying to solve it. So that was really great. And besides that, we have been working with other people. We had a UI UX designer developing the front end for our for what we are building right now, and we have a front end developer, Anastasia, that is going to be working with us. She's done a lot of work on Cardano for different projects, including like fluid tokens and everything like that. So we feel she's really good to develop a good product.
Brilliant. Okay, that's definitely a good team that you got behind you. What's the timeline looking out like for testnet, and when can people get their hands on playing around with the platform, giving you guys feedback?
Yeah. So the front end will take a little bit of work. We have a few screens, a lot of functionalities you can do, which is pretty nice. And the goal is exactly that, to put right now a more like Web3 savvy platform, in the sense that you're empowered to do a lot of things with the platform, including even creating your own crypto recovery mechanism for yourself in case you lose your seed phrase. I can then explain a little bit about that if you want. But yeah, you can do a lot of things, and that's the goal. And then we want to do a friendlier UX for like Web2 people, but that would be more limited. Like we'll guide them more through the normal actions instead of what you can do that's kind of out of the box. So what we expect is to have testnet around Q3, Q4 of this year, and then mainnet on Q1 of 2025. That's the current timeline.
Okay, cool. Still a little bit to go there, but good progress so far, I think. Now, you did mention a self-recovery process, and using the platform in case you lose your own seed phrase. Talk a little bit about that, so we get a better understanding how we could use the platform for those type of situations.
Yeah, that's something we'll be trying to do in the documentation when we share it with people, is to try to share maybe different use cases that we came up with that you could eventually do. And even for inheritance, like for this, not inheritance, for this recovery mechanism for yourself, there are different ways you could do it. But I'll explain like the simplest way possible, or I think the way we can better understand. And this way is very simple. It's like you have your wallet, you create your vault, and then you have the beneficiaries. And if you want to recover it first, one simple thing you could do is to put your wallets as beneficiaries for this wallet, and to put a shorter deadline than the one you have for your other beneficiaries. What this would mean is, for example, you have your main wallet where you have the admin token and you can control everything. If you lose that wallet, the access to that wallet, because maybe you lost a seed phrase or something happened, or etc., what would happen is then with safety wallets that you've created and that you share the token, after the deadline you set, you'd be able to actually reclaim those assets into a new wallet that you have as a safety. So that would be the simple process. And so if you create different safety wallets, you really do have a chance to do that recovery mechanism. And the great part is those wallets, even if someone would assess them or something, they don't really do anything until you've actually lost your main seed phrase, because as long as you have access to that main wallet, you can still control everything. I hope it's understandable, because I talk about different wallets, so it can be confusing.
It does make sense. So I'm just following it in my head, but let me just clarify it. So I can set up my vault, and then I can set up
Yeah.
a safety wallet, which is like the backup in case I lose my seed phrase. Now, with that safety wallet, can it control all the assets, or would my beneficiaries still have different amounts allocated to them? Because I'm just imagining this as, different smart contracts or UTXOs within the wallet, and it already being assigned to different exit points for the smart contracts. So I'm just wondering if that safety wallet, if I'm using that to recover, can I recover everything that's in my vault?
There is a mechanism you can use, and I could explain it. We'll have documentation for that, and we can explain that, where you can actually use these deadline mechanisms to unlock in the pocket admin token. So the admin token controls everything. So you could actually mint another admin token, put it in the pocket that's for your other wallet, and then you unlock that. So basically, you get that admin token into your new wallet, and you get full access to the vault once again. So you can
Gotcha.
control everything once again.
Gotcha. Okay, that's super useful. You just got to remember to put that expiry time shorter than your beneficiaries. so otherwise your beneficiaries will start taking some of the assets out. But I'm sure in the documentation you work out some various baseline scenarios for people. Maybe like if you don't communicate or interact with the wallet for a year or something like that, then the beneficiaries can interact with it, or some decent amount of time. I don't know. Well, whatever makes sense. I'm sure the community, once they get behind it all, will come up some really good scenarios and like default setups for the platform. But this sounds all really, really cool. How much funding are you guys asking for Fund 12?
Okay, so it's kind of divided into proposals, and it's also because there are two different products, let's say, two different solutions based on this technology. And then the community can come and pick what they would like to see, maybe both, maybe neither, maybe one. Let's see what the community says. But we have the first proposal where we are asking for 99,000 ADA, something like that. We have a budget, and we summed up the budget, and that was the amount. It was around 99,000 ADAs that we were asking for developing basically the trustless DApp. And so what we are talking here about, where you'll just have the DApp live to do these interactions, and this plan will just allow us to complete everything, start marketing, take it to testnet, and be almost ready to launch on mainnet. That's what we hopefully get with this plan. The second one is the one we talked about, the crypto inheritance for non-tech savvy beneficiaries, where we actually develop the service to be able to do this. Because the reality is there is a lot of legal work to be able to do this in different legislations and to be compliant. So we do need to do that work. We need to create a process that's good for the user, simple, but also internal processes to make sure that the money is managed safely, it's sold in the best way possible, with good rates, and transferred to the bank account of individuals. So it's all process we need to establish in the background to make sure we can deliver this safely. So those are basically the two proposals that we have for this round. And that one is around 97,000 ADA in funding.
Okay, so I think they're both really good value for money. They're both under 50,000 USD for at the current rate, conversion rate at the moment. So I think it's very good value for money and has a lot of impact for the community and everyone that in the ecosystem that may want to use a platform or service like this. So for that small amount of investment, I think it makes a lot of value for a lot of people. So good luck with this proposal. I'll push it out as far as I can. For anyone that's interested, all the links are down below in the show notes, so you can find the proposal and potentially put it onto your voting list. Now, do you have a community or any reference links that people can follow up and learn a little bit more about the platform?
Yeah, for sure. We have a website I can leave the link. It's genwealth.app, and you can find everything about us. You also have, I think Twitter is a good place. We've just started more recently with our Twitter to start connecting more with the community, because we've been just focused on building. And only after we had the smart contracts working did we start thinking about this stuff. So we do have our Twitter at genwealth_app. And that's a great place to connect with us and to see the updates and be informed. And soon we'll be opening up a Discord for the community as well. We just want to first develop the internal processes, create something really strong. That's what we're working on. And then we will start with marketing, with community building, and really, I think that's the important part in any Web3 company nowadays.
Brilliant. Yes, it certainly is. Product before token, product before fundraising. So as long as you've got something there tangible, some sort of MVP, people are a lot more comfortable in voting and providing funds or whatever it is for the platform. So again, good luck with everything. Again, links and everything in the show notes for everyone down below. And Raphael, thank you for joining me on this podcast and talking through GenWealth.
Thank you so much, Peter, for the opportunity. It was really great. Thank you.